Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into some tech that honestly feels like it's been pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's way closer to reality than you might think. We're talking about turning the smartphone in your pocket into a powerful on-the-go food scanner.
You know the feeling, right? You're standing in the grocery store, staring at a piece of fruit, or maybe a prepackaged meal, and you just wonder, is this really fresh? Is it as healthy as it looks? How many calories are actually in this thing? Well, what if you didn't have to guess anymore?
So how in the world does this work? Well, the first step, and the one that's easiest to get your hands on, uses something you have right now, your phone's camera. But it's backed up by a super smart AI brain. Okay, so it all kicks off with data. And I mean a ton of it. Picture researchers feeding an AI millions and millions of images of food. The AI starts to learn, connecting all those little visual cues. You know, the deep red of a tomato, those perfect grill marks on a piece of chicken, or the specific shape of a noodle, with exactly what that food is and what its nutritional info should be. And this AI gets incredibly good at it. It doesn't just look at a plate and say, oh, that's a salad. No, it breaks the whole thing down. It can pick out the scrambled eggs, see the sliced cucumbers, and even spot the diced lotus root in a really complicated dish. It's like it visually deconstructs your meal, piece by tiny piece. And here's the magic part for you. After the AI sees your food, it takes all of that visual guesswork and turns it into simple, easy to understand data. Boom. Right there on your screen, you get a full breakdown of calories, protein, fat, carbs, the whole deal. It pretty much makes tracking your nutrition almost effortless. But there's a pretty big catch when you're only relying on photos. As Professor Komar from NYU points out, food is just not standardized. A burger you get from one place can look totally different from a burger somewhere else. And think about your mom's lasagna versus one from a restaurant. That visual inconsistency is a massive challenge for an AI that's just trying to guess based on looks alone. So, if we want to get more accurate, if we want to move beyond just an educated guess, our phones need to do more than just see the food. They need a totally new way to analyze it. This is really the difference between analyzing a picture of your meal and analyzing the meal itself. So how do we get there? Well, the next giant leap forward is to literally put tiny lab-grade sensors right into our phones. This is what transforms them from just being fancy cameras into actual, real-deal analytical devices. The core science that makes this possible is called spectroscopy. Now, don't let the name scare you. Think of it like this. You shine a special kind of light on something, and then you just analyze the light that bounces back. Every single molecule interacts with that light in its own unique way, creating a kind of signature. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a molecular fingerprint. It's a perfect analogy. Just like your fingerprint is unique to you, every single type of food, an apple, a piece of cheese, you name it, has its own unique molecular structure. Spectroscopy lets our phones read that fingerprint and know exactly what it's looking at, right down to the chemical level. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. The whole journey really started with external attachments, kind of like the one you see here. Researchers built these modules that would clip onto a phone. They used the phone's brain and its screen, but the attachment had its own special light and sensor to do the heavy lifting. These prototypes were the crucial first steps that paved the way. Of course, the end game is to get this tech built right into the phone itself. No attachments needed. And guess what? It's already happening. The Changhong H2 was the very first smartphone to have a molecular sensor built in. It proved that you could shrink this technology down small enough to fit right next to the camera. So yeah, this is not a concept anymore. It's a reality. And spectroscopy is just the beginning, which is so cool. Researchers are working on other incredible sensors. I'm talking electronic noses that can literally smell the specific gases that rotting meat gives off, or optoelectronic sensors that can tell if milk has gone bad with over 97% accuracy. They're even developing tiny microscope attachments that use AI to spot mold you can't even see. It's wild. Okay, so as exciting as all of this sounds, we have to take a little reality check. The path from a cool lab prototype to a flawless device that's in everyone's pocket, well, it's got some pretty big hurdles that scientists and engineers are working hard to overcome right now. So what are the biggest roadblocks? Well, for one, current systems really struggle with hidden ingredients. Think about the oil something was cooked in, or the sugar mixed into a sauce. Super complex dishes like a curry or a stew are just incredibly hard to analyze completely. Plus, the best tech often needs new hardware, like special depth sensors that most phones just don't have yet. And sometimes, even something as simple as bad lighting in a room can throw off the accuracy. But here's the thing. Even with all those limitations, the potential is crystal clear. This chart from a study on an app called Cal AI shows that even the simpler photo-based systems have huge benefits. Look at this. They reduced errors when people guessed their portion size. They got users to actually log their meals 25% more often. And, this is a big one, it saved users 40% more time than just typing everything in manually. So it's already making a real difference. So where is this all headed? Well, the true revolution isn't going to come from just one of these technologies alone. It's going to come from all of them converging, when our phones can use a whole suite of different tools to understand our food from every possible angle. Let's just dream for a second about that ultimate food scanner. First, you'll have a ridiculously smart AI that gets the visual analysis almost perfect. At the same time, an integrated spectrometer is reading the food's molecular fingerprint to get the hard data. Then, maybe an electronic nose is sniffing for the very first chemical signs of spoilage. And to top it all off, smart packaging with RFID tags could even beam its history and exact freshness level right to your phone. We're talking about a full-on laboratory in your pocket. And that really brings us to the final big question. This technology isn't just about counting calories or making sure your milk isn't bad. It's about having the complete, totally transparent story of everything you eat. So, if you had that kind of power, that deep level of knowledge right there at your fingertips, what choices would you make differently?